Welcome back, everybody, to TB Sports 27. It is time for Week 17 here in the Washington Commanders ESPN NFL 2K5 Fantasy Draft. And, well, we've lost our third in a row. We lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Even that win didn't put the Dallas Cowboys back in the postseason, so that would have been us either way. Philadelphia, they won. They've officially won the division. So has Chicago. It's going to be between San Francisco, Arizona, and St. Louis in a three-way battle for that spot in the NFC West. My God, Tampa Bay, that frustrates you because you're going to get a team that's either 7-8 or 8-8, 7-9 or 8-8 that's winning the division there. It's going to come down to this. So we're not even listed in the playoff hunt anymore. We're not even listed in the playoff picture. We were the number 1 seed 3 weeks ago. I don't know what happens if Arizona loses and St. Louis loses and we win. You got a bunch of teams that are going to be 9-6. Power rankings, I mean, they got us at number 9, so we're up there. But we got the Minnesota Vikings up next. Should be a winnable game, all things considered. Vikings at 5-10. They are long out of the playoff hunt. Let's see if we can send the season on a strong note, guys. Vikings, Commanders, coming up next.
I'm Chris Berman, and coming up on ESPN, happy holidays to you and yours from all of us at ESPN. Hope the holidays brought you everything you wished for. This NFL season has certainly brought us all we could have wished for. We've got one last present under the tree for you on ESPN before the playoffs begin next week. Minneapolis, Washington. This ought to be good.
Well, the fans are looking for their seats as the teams are down on the field warming up.
Of course, we got rain in the cast, so it's a dreary season.
Greetings from Washington Field. My colleague here in the commentary booth is Peter O'Keefe. Peter, both of these teams have a solid tackler on defense who does an excellent job pursuing the ball.
No doubt about that, Dan. These guys do an outstanding job of reading the offense and ripping it to shreds. Sean Ellis is a fine defensive lineman. He's the kind of dominant pass rusher that every defense needs and every offense dreads.
All right, guys, we are holding out hopes that a playoff berth may still be on the horizon here for the Washington Commanders. It's going to be, we're not even like considered in the picture, so I'm not even sure if it's a possibility, but you know, we can still finish this thing with a winning record, and you never know what'll happen because there's a lot of teams that can also finish 9-7. So here we go. Final game of the regular season. Washington Commanders and the Minnesota Vikings. If we got the playoffs, we'll bring the playoffs to you. If not, we got at least 2 more games headed your way. We're going to do a Super Bowl watch party. Unless, I don't know what happens if the Titans and Vikings make it. Maybe we can't watch it because I didn't use or control them. That'd be a bad situation there. Quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, by the way, Eli Manning. So we'll do the Super Bowl watch party. We'll play the Pro Bowl. And then we will take a little break from 2K5. But as I mentioned before, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. If you want to see a second season, if you guys want to see additional seasons of NFL 2K5 franchise mode, fantasy draft style, let me know. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys want to see. If we don't make the playoffs, assuming we don't, I'm going to simulate the playoffs at the end of this episode here so you guys know what the Super Bowl game is going to be. Of course, Brian Williams probably just tore something there in the rain. Also, this would be a game I would imagine not many fans would be at, assuming we don't have any playoff aspirations. You guys saw the Vikings coming in with just a couple of wins on the year. But trying to finish this thing with a winning record. But yeah, we're going to simulate the playoffs after this. So we'll kind of know where we stand going into the Super Bowl. And then at the end of the Pro Bowl, well, I guess we can make, well, I don't know. I think we'll make it all one episode because we're not going to do any front office stuff because that's going to be computer controlled. So we can probably do all that at the end of the Pro Bowl. So we got at least one more stream coming your way here in NFL 2K5 before we take a little break. We're also going to do our crib episode, so stay tuned for that. That was a long-promised SK Money. Longtime supporter of TV Sports 27 was asking for a crib episode, so that will be coming as well at the end of the Pro Bowl stream. So be on the lookout for that. 3rd and 9. Eli Manning and the Minnesota Vikings. Manning, first down to Troy Brown. And it seems unfair that they'd be able to just throw the ball like that in this kind of rainy, bad weather. I mean, come on. What are your guys' Super Bowl predictions so far for this one? Obviously, I think the team to beat is the San Diego Chargers. They are sitting at 14-1. They can finish as 15-1. Now, historically, teams that go 15-1 in the regular season, they don't always have the best run in the playoffs. And historically, for the Chargers, they've been known to have very, very good regular seasons and poor playoff runs. Not since the great Stan Humphries have the Chargers gone all the way on the AFC bracket side of the postseason. So it'd be interesting to see what the Chargers do. But I want to believe Brett Favre is their quarterback in this game. And then on the NFC side, the strong folks looking like the Eagles. After they perked up, I still can't believe we went on the road and beat the Eagles like we did. But the Eagles sitting up top now all of a sudden as one of the very, very strong teams. And the Chicago Bears also up there as well. That was another team that we had our battles with. Intercepted! Eli Manning picked off in the end zone by Aaron Beasley. That's what we like to see. This team's not giving up on themselves. And we will see J.P. Lossman step out on the field. The question marks are going to continue. Everyone was all excited. I mean, this kind of almost reminds you of the Tim Tebow season in Denver a little bit, where we had this amazing 7-game winning streak, and everyone was so hyped. And then all of a sudden the season ends and you're looking at a 3, possibly a 4-game losing streak, and now all of a sudden question marks remain. Do you stick with J.P. Lossman? Did he do enough to win the job? And right now we got to really work on that offensive line. Dwayne White getting the quarterback sack, and J.P. Lossman has been hit way too many times over the last couple games. I mean, just no one blocking. Lossman was doing a better job down the stretch against the Cowboys in the last game of getting rid of the football. But at some point, the O-line's got to do their part as well. So 3rd and long here. Play fake. And Lossman, you know, I completely forgot to look. I was going to look at what stats Terrell Owens was at. We can do that at the end of this episode here. But to see if he will break the record or not. I suppose they would make an announcement during this game if the record is going to be broken, or maybe they'll say what his season stats are in this video, but we will take a look at that. Maybe that can be a separate episode. Maybe we break that up for YouTube purposes. We can do the end of season stats, and we can do the playoffs as a separate episode, and then do the Super Bowl watch party and the Pro Bowl. And then the off-season and crib can maybe be like their own thing. We'll see how it goes. Oh my goodness, Eli Manning to Troy Brown. And boy, the Minnesota Vikings, they're all in on this hurry-up offense, this no-huddle offense type of thing. Fumble! Picked up by Minnesota. Nearly doing the work, guys. If you guys want to get caught up on this season, if you want to see the 7-game winning streak, if you want to see the 3-game losing streak, if you want to see us start the season 1-4, all the videos up right now on YouTube and on Patreon. Don't forget to join us live on Twitch, and you can support the channel on Streamlabs and Ko-Fi, as Eli Manning hooking up with Troy Brown once again for a touchdown. A couple fine folks have already supported the channel on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. K Duckman's next Ultra Fan stream is coming your way before you know it, so be on the lookout for that. Damon, I'm sorry, your Tony Hawk stream did terrible numbers on YouTube, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. Extra point is good, and the Minnesota Vikings strike first, 7-0. Fair catch called here, and Commanders start this one back at the 20-yard line. I'm making the call right now. If Corey Dillon doesn't get going here, we're gonna put the backup in because it's already looking that way. I'm making the call on this drive because we've already seen Falk come in for Corey Dillon and have a pretty good performance. I'm not dealing with this riffraff out here today, struggling last game of the season. Lossman's pass just gets knocked down right in front of his face. That may have been Junior Seau that came in. So one thing that's tricky, and it was Junior Seau, the player will make a play on the ball, but then the game will zoom in on another player. So it looks like I'm calling number 44 Junior Seau, but that's just who they zoom in on for whatever reason, rather than the player that did the play. Go figure. Third down here, and Lossman watches that one get knocked into his face again. James Atkins. And it's going to be another slow start for the Commanders. It's certainly looking like here. Not a great punt by Nick Harris, but Deuce McAllister runs it back up to the 42 into Washington territory, and well, that's where the Vikings are going to try to take their 2-score lead right now. Eli Manning. Oh my God! I mean, can we tackle, or we don't even want to try to see if we can make a postseason run? Charles Rogers and Troy Brown for the Minnesota Vikings. TJ Hushmanzada also on this Minnesota Vikings squad. Deuce McAllister, 2 yards on the ground in the rain. You see Coach Joe Gibbs. What kind of changes is he going to make? Are we going to get a season 2? It's up to the fans. It's up to the fans. If we get good viewership. And that is Eric Johnson, who nearly ran that one in the end zone. This gets good viewership. If it gets good response, if we get a lot of requests for it, we'll bring it back for a second year. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to see if this is something you like. Because I don't know what you guys like, because for the longest time, WWE content was king. Anytime I did anything that was WWE Universe mode, it was big numbers, touchdown Minnesota. It was big numbers on YouTube. And lately, the last couple of WWE videos we've put out on YouTube as of December 14th have not been good. They have not been performed well. So I don't know the interest in universe mode or what happened in that regard. But yeah, so let me know what you guys like. I'll bring it to you. I got into quite a spat with somebody on YouTube. I don't know if I should go into it here. There was a... You can find it, I guess, if you want, but there is a Japanese band that I like that was a band, and then they disbanded, and then they came back with a new group, and there was a video that was put up, and there was a rather disparaging comment of somebody that said, well, I can't believe you don't have subtitles on this video. I forget exactly the wording, but it was like, basically it was, how dare you upload a video in your native language without putting subtitles so I can watch it. And so I commented on it because I'm a fan of the band, and I was like, hey, feel free to learn the language. This is a band from another country. you're listening to a band from another country, you're listening to lyrics of a band from another country, feel free to take a few moments and learn the country's language. You know, it's not up to the band, or it shouldn't be the band's responsibility. Like, you're asking for English, but if you were, you know, Spanish, or if you spoke Mandarin, or if you spoke Dutch, are they supposed to release subtitles for, like, if I go watch a Rolling Stones video on YouTube, they don't have subtitles for Japanese, right? Like, so I don't know. So anyway, I made the comment, and the person wrote back and said, well, I tried to learn, you know, Japanese, but it was too difficult, so, you know, they're delivering a product and they should post subtitles. And, you know, oh, it's in their culture, and they learn English in their culture, so that's the least they can do, kind of thing. And I was like, well, you just said how hard it was to learn a second language on your end, and you don't want to do the work, but you expect them, after you just admitted learning a second language is difficult, you expect them to put the work in to learn a second language, to provide you subtitles for this particular language that you want to hear it in. And then the person shot back. I haven't responded yet. I probably won't, because they are getting this much of a platform is too much for them, and that was nearly intercepted. So anyway, if you can go find it, jump in. I've already gotten a couple thumbs up. They've been getting thumbs down, but that was don't remember how we got onto that discussion at all. We were just talking about YouTube, but I don't know, what a wild thing. I just couldn't imagine, like, like, if you spoke Korean and you opened up a Rolling Stones video, or even I'm just saying Rolling Stones, AC/DC, anybody, Megadeth, and you said, hey, Dave, where's my Korean subtitles? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how, like, Dave's American. That's his, you know. So the fact that someone jumped on a video of a Japanese band and was demanding English subtitles was like, and it wasn't a music, like, it wasn't a song, it was an audition process video. So it was like a 20-minute video of them auditioning the new band members. And the person was upset that this 20-minute video was not subtitled in their language of choice, when it's, you know, it's a different country. They're going to speak a different language. So anyway. So that was that on YouTube. So, yeah. Fun stuff. Fun little YouTube spat on that one. The person, just to wrap it up here, the person, like, their last comment where I didn't write back was like, well, do you only watch anime if it's in Japanese? Or it was like kind of like their big thing to shoot back. And it's like, well, I mean, that's where most anime is made, outside of Ruby, which is made in America. So Ruby is in English without Japanese subtitles. So I typically watch it with subtitles on, but certainly it's their country making it. It's like buying a manga. The manga is going to be in Japanese, and not every manga gets translated to English, at least not legally. So, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, Corey Dillon, he's done after this drive. I'm just going to say that. See if we can get any salvage here on this season. Is there going to be any 9-loss teams that take an L where we can maybe try to sneak in? Lossman's pass incomplete. Just 2 of 8 so far. You know, maybe we see Heward at some point if we just want to give him some reps. There's Terrell Owens. I think we're going to go ahead and make the call right now since we got the first down. Corey Dillon coming out. He's been disappointing the last couple of weeks. I would love to see some season stats since I blew it and I did not give them to you, to see how close T.O. needs to get the record. But we'll certainly look after this ball game here. There's Kevin Falk. Tackle on the play made by Junior Seau. Lossman steps up with the run, takes a wicked shot right there. But this is the guy that wants to play hard. This is the guy that wants to win. I know it's probably just eating him alive inside. These last couple of weeks have gone the way they have. Ooh, man, Junior Seau came right in and closed that gap on Kevin Falk. And we're going to go for it here. It's the last game of the season. What the heck? And it's going to be dropped. It is raining. Daryl Jackson can't hang on to it. JP, and he's going to get hurt, too, on the play, which we've been starting to see the injuries pile up the last couple of weeks. But obviously a very frustrated JP Lossman wandering off the field. And this is going to be our first team in a long time that doesn't make a postseason here. Because other than our Arizona Diamondbacks, I think every team we've been a part of has made a playoff run. I don't know how Shaq's Southern Miss Golden Eagles are going to do. If they'll be looking at a NCAA March Madness bid or not. With this wrapping up, that'll give us some more time to jump back into Coach Shaquille O'Neal. But man, we're being overmatched right here by this team that's got 5 wins. Like, it's crazy how we went from just dominating during that 7-game winning streak to the tail end of this season just kind of falling apart. And what happened here? Troy Brown, man, 7 catches already.
Nice second down call, and they will move the chain. On offense, it was
Juice McAllister trying to find any opening, and he's going to get swallowed up and tackled by Anthony Simmons. This is a battered, beat-up defense as well. A lot of injuries on defense here.
That's a great battle down there, Dan. This time, the D1.
Eli Manning's pass nearly picked off by London Fletcher. Boy, some turnovers here. I know we already got one of them, but if we can get a couple more, that would just be ideal here to cap off the season. Oh, man, that was almost Mr. Mike Rumpf, number 24. So Minnesota, they're going to attempt the field goal here. Mike Vanderjagt. Not always the most accurate kicker in the world. We'll find out what he does here. And, yeah, well, he lived up to his name. That's about what he used to do. Mr. Vanderjagt used to frustrate the hell out of one Peyton Manning back in the day with some of his kicks. So 202, no points scored on those last couple of drives. And it's intercepted. Lossman delivered that right on the money to Rodney Harrison. When you see some of the names, you wonder, why is this team struggling? They got Eli Manning, Rodney Harrison, Junior Seau. Like, come on, these are... It's a who's who. It's a who's who list right now.
Come out on the field, and they're looking to extend their lead before halftime. They'll start at the 44-yard line. Roger.
Handoff to Juice McAllister, 2 yards in the rain and the slop, in the mud.
McAllister used the blocking, but this stingy defense didn't give up much at all on that last play.
Not much there. It'll be second down.
Take what you can get, Dan, but they were hoping for more.
And rain definitely affecting a lot of those. Josh Reed pretty much had a wide open pass that hit the ground. We've seen that a couple times today. We never got our injury report, did we, on Daryl Jackson? I'm assuming he's okay. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. Manning's pass is incomplete. Knocked away at the line. That's what it's all about. The defense playing tough here in the rain. Usually these bad weather games kind of result in these kind of low scores, but boy, it hurts that Minnesota's already got that many points up on the board right now.
Out of bounds, so the offense will start off stuck inside the 20.
The Redskins offense is on the field, and they have not produced well at all. They're looking for an answer as they start this drive at their own.
No room for Kevin Falk. Gary Baxter tackling Falk, and it's going to be a loss of a yard. Well, there's our injury. Let's listen in.
Here, Susie Culber has a report for us. Susie?
Thank you, Dan. I just talked to the trainers, and they said that he tore his bicep. They're icing
Torn
the injury
bicep.
to ease the pain,
Well,
but it doesn't seem to be that effective. The official word on his return.
that one's incomplete. I believe that was T.O. that they were looking for.
Thanks, Susie. Oh,
It was T.O.
all that one in, and it
Well, do we even want to look at the numbers? They're not going to be pretty. 1 of 7 across the middle of the field. Just 3 of 12 for J.P. Lossman. I hate to say it for Mr. Lossman, but I think the excitement has worn off, and I feel like you got to go back to Mark Bolger now going into next season. And I recognize that Bolger also did not start the season off lights out. But yeah, we're going to see. We'll reassess. We'll reassess what happens. 32 seconds left in the half, so for the Commanders, it's basically throw the ball here, trying to get some points. Quarterback sack, Brian Young.
Man in the backfield for a big loss. I don't know what happened to the protection. Let's have a look. You know,
What do you guys think? Should we put Damon Heward in there? Just what the heck? I mean, I don't think we still have playoff hopes. Ugh. It's just it's not going well for JP right now. 4 of 15. Maybe we try him for a drive. We try Damon Heward for one drive. And if it works, we go with them. If it doesn't, we bail out. I hate to think that we still have playoff hopes on the line and take out J.P. Lossman. But I feel like our playoff hopes are basically done. All right, Chris Berman's going to recap this one. Come on back for the second half. Maybe we see a new quarterback in there. I don't know. Commanders, boy, they are struggling lately. 14-0. Take it away, Chris.
All right, Dan, we'll get back to you in a bit. But welcome, everybody, to the ESPN Halftime Show. I'm Chris Berman. Now we'll look at our halftime comparison. And as you can see, total yards definitely tell the story thus far. The Redskins are certainly losing because of it. It's hard to win when you play like that. We'll pick up the action midway through the first quarter. Aaron Beasley is reading the quarterback's eyes all the way as he's able to get his hands on this one and pick it off. The Vikings, still midway through the first quarter, ball at the 17-yard line. Eli Manning connected with his man on this one. A 15-yard touchdown for the Vikings. The Vikes, towards the end of the first quarter, Vikes leading by 7. Ace, Deuce, and plenty of use McAllister found a little opening. That was all he needed. They're now up by 14. Redskins later in the second, J.P. Lossman would find his target on this one. Skins down 14-0. Rodney Harris was in the right place at the right time, as his interception was a possible momentum shifter. Redskins still late in the second quarter, the ball at their own 16. J.P. Lossman connected with his man on this one, and that's where we'll leave this one. Skins are down at the half, 14-0. It's time now for our Halftime Hero Award, which recognizes the most dominant player of the first half. Duh. This time there can be no question. Troy Brown has taken over this game. And now let's return to the second half with Dan Stevens and Peter O'Keefe.
Thanks, Boomer, and welcome back to our broadcast presented in ESPN Game Sound. Designed and developed in collaboration with Dolby, the leader in surround sound technology. The Redskins get the ball first this half, and they